Have you ever pondered the ways we can offer the finest care for our elderly without emptying our wallets? The answer may astonish you. In this video, I will share 3 heartfelt tales of seniors who have uncovered inventive and budget-friendly methods to age gracefully and joyfully. You will learn how the bonds of family, the strength of community, and the embrace of new lifestyles can transform lives. Join us in honoring the resilience and wisdom of our elders. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to be part of this journey. Movement 1. The journey of a 75-year-old grandpa. I have walked the path of living in a nursing home and the experience of hiring a caregiver. Both options come at a hefty price tag and may not suit everyone, especially those of us with modest pensions. This year, I reached a milestone of 75, a bittersweet moment since my wife left this world over 5 years ago. In the wake of her passing, I sought help and brought a caregiver into my home, but after 2 months, I decided to part ways. My culinary skills have never been my strong suit, and my children, concerned for my well-being, stepped in to cover the cost of a caregiver, settling on 5,500 yuan per month. For a month, I found myself in a peculiar situation. The caregiver, around 40 years old and hailing from a rural background, appeared to be genuine enough. However, the meals she prepared were far from appetizing. Much of her time was consumed by her phone or the television, and there were moments when I called out to her multiple times, only to be met with silence. Ultimately, I made the decision to part ways. It felt as though I had become the caregiver, tending to someone who seemed more interested in their screen than in providing care. Spending over $5,000 a month for someone who was more attached to their phone than to their responsibilities was simply not a worthwhile investment. I believed that my money would be better utilized on my own meals, so I chose to forego a caregiver. However, my children discovered a place for me in a nursing home, which I was reluctant to accept. They urged me to go, concerned for my well-being while living alone. Nowadays, nursing homes can be quite decent, yet the staff may not always meet expectations, and the rules can feel overly rigid. Each time you enter or exit, you must register, and I cherish my freedom too much to endure such constraints. Moreover, the reality of elderly residents passing away there weighs heavily on my mind. The surroundings can cast a shadow that weighs heavily on the spirit. It wasn't long before I made the choice to depart, as I believe that as long as one can manage their own affairs, the thought of a nursing home should be set aside, particularly for those who cherish their freedom. My children, with hearts full of care, proposed that I could rotate my stay among them. Yet, despite their good intentions, I found myself feeling a bit swamped. I spent time with them, but never exceeding a fortnight. Let me begin by sharing about my son's home, where both he and his wife toiled away during the day, often absent by the time I arrived. My daughter-in-law, with her kind heart, would always prepare lunch and leave it in the fridge before heading off to work. They were already juggling so much, and when they returned home, the weight of household chores awaited them. I often felt like an unwelcome guest, a burden that cast a shadow over their busy lives, leaving me uneasy. Most of my days were spent in solitude within those walls, unfamiliar with the neighbors, longing for comfort in my own home, despite the respect and kindness my son and daughter-in-law extended to me. As the years have passed, I've observed a shift in the way younger generations regard me. For instance, at my son's home, the utensils I was given were set apart, clearly marked for my use alone. In a similar vein, my daughter-in-law has her own rules. She prefers I don't use the washing machine for my clothes, as she finds the scent of age off-putting. While I enjoy the art hand washing, her disapproval leads me to the laundromat downstairs, a rather inconvenient arrangement in the end. There's truly no place like home. As for my daughter's house, I never meant for her to bear the responsibility of caring for me in my later years. Yet, each time I visit, she and her husband extend their kindness, and I recognize that my son-in-law also has his own parents to consider. Over the years, the maternal grandparents played a significant role in raising the children, and when my daughter married, it was her family that provided the house and the car. As we journey through life, it becomes essential to reflect on our circumstances. Since my wife passed away, I've slowly begun to grasp a deeper understanding of it all. As the years pass, a profound realization dawns. the importance of self-reliance. In the sanctuary of my own home, I find comfort and independence. I've embraced the art of cooking, mastering stir-fry, and the delicate craft of steamed buns. Each morning, I gather with a spirited group of fellow seniors in the square, engaging in Tai Chi, a dance of movement and mindfulness. Prioritizing my health and nurturing a positive outlook have become my guiding principles. Together with my companions, we forge a new path of self-care, celebrating the wisdom of our years and the joy of shared experiences. In our Tai Chi group, we come together, lending a hand and uplifting one another. With over 10 members, 8 of us are seniors, navigating life without partners or children nearby. Last year, we took a step further and formed a WeChat group for elderly individuals living alone, which has blossomed to nearly 20 members. The essence of this gathering lies in the understanding that as we age and our families may not be close, having someone to rely on during moments of discomfort or pain becomes vital. Many in our shoes often shy away from seeking help. In the journey of life, as we navigate the later chapters, many find themselves facing the challenge of care and companionship. With limited resources and the weight of solitude, we have united to support one another during this significant time. Recent stories have emerged, revealing the heart-wrenching reality of elderly individuals who, in their solitude, have passed away unnoticed. This has inspired us to form a community, a circle of connection where we can ensure the well-being of each member. Each morning, we gather to share a moment of check-in, and if silence lingers from one of our own, we take it upon ourselves to reach out and offer our presence. Together, we weave a tapestry of care and vigilance, ensuring that no one is left alone in their time of need. In our close-knit community, we reside in neighboring areas, creating a tapestry of connections that has evolved over time. This space has become a sanctuary for sharing life's challenges. When someone falls ill and requires a comforting bowl of soup or a companion for a hospital visit, we come together, ensuring that the effort is acknowledged with fair compensation of 8 yen per hour. If I find myself unwell and in need of assistance, I simply reach out to group and those available step forward to lend a hand. Just recently, Grandpa was there for me at the hospital, providing invaluable support. Over the course of 3 days, we engage in consultations that span 8 hours each day, culminating in a total of 24 hours. As agreed, I compensated him with 720 yen. This system has garnered widespread approval. Not only do we have someone to assist us, but we also have the opportunity to earn an income. At times, you look after me, and I return the favor, while at other moments, I support you and you compensate me. It feels fair and balanced. Moreover, everyone in our group faces similar circumstances and shares a mutual understanding. This approach is particularly well received among us, the elderly, as it proves to be more affordable than hiring an aide or considering assisted living options. In a care home, the essence lies in the bonds we forge, where trust and familiarity flourish among us. This nurturing group allows our children to feel at ease, and together we embark on delightful outings like strolls in the park, which bring joy to our days. What began as a small gathering has blossomed into a vibrant community, welcoming many elderly souls who seek companionship. This not only lightens the load for our children, but also envelopes us in a warm embrace of emotional support. Each day, we find solace in concern of others, sharing conversations and knowing that, should illness strike, we are never truly alone. In conclusion, the cost is just a few hundred yuan, making it a more budget-friendly choice compared to hiring a caregiver or residing in a nursing home. This option seems fitting for many elderly individuals who can manage their own care. Together, we unite to support one another in our later years, lending a helping hand, and even generating some income along the way. If you find these tales inspiring and motivating enough to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your thoughts are greatly valued. Thank you for your precious time. I'm Grandpa, and at 65 years old, my journey continues. Children possess a certain thoughtfulness, yet I find myself preferring solitude, having embraced a lifestyle that aligns with my desires. Many older adults, upon retirement, choose to reside with their children or transition to a senior living facility, but those paths do not resonate with me. The way I live now grants me a profound sense of comfort. It has been over 2 years since my wife departed, and while friends and acquaintances have encouraged me to seek a new companion, I view things differently. I cherish the tranquility that has become my refuge since her passing. I have come to embrace the solace of my own company. If the question of seeking someone new were to arise, I would find myself feeling a bit uneasy. At present, I find joy in writing, reading, and nurturing my plants. Occasionally, I gather with friends from the neighborhood for a chat over a cup of tea. Life feels quite fulfilling at this moment. I live alone, yet my children are just a short 30-minute drive away, and they visit me from time to time. With a monthly pension of 6,000 yuan, I navigate this chapter of life, content in the knowledge that my children have embarked on their own journeys, forming families of their own. There's a weight of financial concern that I've managed to lift off my shoulders, allowing me to save a decent sum while living independently. My children, filled with worry, have suggested that I join them, but I've turned down their offers. Their hearts are in the right place, wanting to ensure I don't feel alone. They've even brought up the idea of a senior home, claiming it will provide companionship and relieve me of chores like laundry and cooking. Yet, the mere mention of senior home struck a chord within me, and I swiftly rejected the notion. It's simply not a path I wish to take. To go, I'm in good shape. Why should I venture there? I can prepare my own meals and manage my laundry without any trouble. My children have proposed several times that I move in with them, but I've consistently declined. I appreciate their good intentions, yet I don't wish to impose on them. Furthermore, staying at their home for an extended period not only disrupts their routine, but also becomes a challenge for me. Given my reluctance to the idea of cohabitation, they suggested hiring a caregiver. The moment I heard that, I shook my head. I don't want that. I find myself in a situation where the idea of having a caregiver feels a bit off, especially with a young woman living under the same roof as me. My daughter, ever observant, caught my reaction and couldn't help but chuckle. As I pondered why they were so eager to suggest this arrangement, she reassured me, saying, "Don't worry, the caregiver we're considering isn't your typical caregiver. It's more about elderly assistance." That term sparked my curiosity, and I leaned in to hear more. She went on to explain that this service is tailored specifically to provide care for seniors like me. In a world where cameras are seamlessly integrated into homes, connected to the mobile phones of family members, a sense of security unfolds. Should anything occur within those walls, loved ones would be instantly notified. My curiosity deepened as I absorbed every detail. She spoke of a daily visitor, someone who would bring lunch and dinner and breakfast upon request. After delivering the meals, this kind soul would depart, leaving the door open for any additional needs. Every 2 days, they would return to handle laundry in one swift motion. The promise was clear. If I required anything, all I had to do was ask. I found myself feeling a bit uneasy about the staff assigned me, but I knew I could reach out to the company for a change. As I waited for my daughter to finish her thoughts, she looked at me with a smile and asked, "What do you think, Dad? Does this kind of elderly care appeal to you? You wouldn't want to stay at your son's or daughter's place, nor in a senior home, so this is really our only option." Her words struck a chord, and I couldn't help but laugh. All right. I chuckled, but then it hit me. There was something important I hadn't yet addressed regarding this new approach. Care can indeed come at a hefty price tag, but I didn't bring it up with my daughter. It's not as steep as it seems. Just 2,500 yuan a month. Plus, my brother and I will handle the expenses, so there's no need to fret about finances. My daughter reassured me with a gentle pat on the shoulder, insisting I shouldn't worry about the costs. Yet, how could I feel at ease with that? In our home, we have elderly relatives and children who need to focus on their studies. It's a time when every bit of money counts. With my monthly pension at 6,000 yuan, I can manage that 2,500 yuan, but still, the weight of it lingers. In the end, we reached a consensus that I would pay the 2,500 yen. I genuinely appreciate this new form of elderly care. It grants me more personal time and a sense of tranquility. I am truly thankful for their effectiveness. It is a wonderful blessing that enables me to relish my golden years. What immense joy If you find these tales uplifting and they inspire you to take action, please share your thoughts with a 9. If not, a 0 will do. Your perspective matters greatly to us. Thank you for your precious time. I'm Aunt Lou, and I'm 67. This year, I celebrated my 67th birthday. After spending some time in my daughter's homes, I finally discovered the kind of elderly care that truly suits me. In my younger days, I worked as a supervisor at a state-owned garment factory. Now, my monthly pension exceeds $4,200. I have a son and a daughter who are both finishing college. My son chose to stay in Shingo to further his career. He now owns his own house and car, living comfortably with his wife and son. My daughter lives a bit farther away, but her situation is also quite good. Years ago, she welcomed her second child into the world. Initially, after my retirement, I wished to embrace this new chapter without being a burden to anyone, eager to savor the joys of our life at home. However, last year, when my husband turned 68, tragedy struck. He suffered a severe stroke and left this world unexpectedly. The loss of my husband was a profound blow, one that left me reeling for a long time. Life, in its delicate nature, often reminds us of its unpredictability. When he passed, I found myself enveloped in loneliness, surrounded by echoes of our shared memories that lingered in every corner of our home. I found myself unable to sleep through the night, restless and turning in bed. My children, ever so considerate, reached out to me. My daughter, with her heartfelt invitation to stay with her for a while, and my son, who also urged me to come to his home. In that moment, a sense of comfort washed over me, a reminder of our cultural traditions that emphasize the care of elders at home. However, with my daughter living quite far away, I chose to spend some time at my son's house, even if it turned out to be less than I had hoped for. 2 weeks passed, and I came to understand that the reality was far from what I had envisioned. My son is blessed with 2 little ones, a grandson and a granddaughter. I played a significant role in caring for my grandson until he turned 2, but when my mother fell ill, I had no choice but to return home to care for her. This meant my daughter-in-law had to leave her job to look after the children. When my granddaughter arrived, my daughter-in-law sought my help with the baby. But at that moment, my husband was unwell. Given my previous experience in caring for little ones, I had to navigate these challenges carefully. My grandson, I found myself hesitant to embrace that responsibility once more, leading me to seek a way to gracefully decline the offer. Perhaps this decision has contributed to the somewhat distant demeanor my daughter-in-law has held toward me over the years. Now that my grandson and granddaughter have matured, I had hoped for a shift in dynamics. However, upon arriving at my son's home, I quickly recognized that I had misjudged the circumstances. My daughter-in-law voiced her grievances about my past lack of involvement with the children, and now, despite my advancing age, I still find myself facing the same challenges. It was quite audacious of her to show up at my son's home, though she never stated it outright. The implication was clear. From the moment I stepped in, my daughter-in-law hardly lifted a finger in the kitchen. Cooking and cleaning quickly fell to me. One evening, as my granddaughter sat at the table enjoying her dinner, she innocently asked, "Grandma, why do you cook like that?" In response, my daughter-in-law silently whisked the children away, leaving with a forceful slam of the door. The tension in her demeanor left me feeling increasingly uneasy, and each day spent in my son's household became a trial of its own. From the moment I stepped into this new chapter, a heavy weight settled upon me, stealing away the joy I had hoped to find in retirement. Instead of relaxation, I found myself stepping into the role of caregiver, a task made all the more difficult by the cold demeanor of my daughter-in-law, who never offered a smile, her eyes filled with disdain. Yet, it was not just her attitude that troubled me. It was a constant discord between her and my son. Their arguments echoed through the house, creating an atmosphere thick with tension, leaving the children silent and withdrawn. After less than 2 weeks of this turmoil, I made the difficult decision to gather my belongings and ask my son to take me back home, realizing that depending on this situation was no longer an option. My journey with elderly care has been quite the challenge, and relying on my daughter-in-law feels like a distant hope. When I returned to my hometown, my daughter reached out, invited me to stay with her for a while. I turned her down without hesitation. shaped by my experiences at my son's home. Trusting my daughter feels daunting now. I've spent a few days caring for my son's children, yet my daughter's grandchildren have never been under my watch. They've always been nurtured by their other grandmother. A couple of years ago, my daughter welcomed her second child, and her mother-in-law has stepped into care for the little one. If I were to visit, it could spell trouble. My daughter's apartment has only 2 bedrooms. I might not even have a place to stay. After my time at my son's house, I truly grasped that old saying. The parent's house will always be the children's home, but the children's house will never become the parent home. Since my return, I've kept my expectations low, both with my son and my daughter, as expectations tend to grow. In the midst of pondering the potential for disappointment, whispers from neighbors echoed in my mind. They suggested that, considering my age, it might be wise not to depend solely on my children, but rather to seek out a partner. A friend's recommendation led me to Lalu, a man a few years my senior, who enjoys a pension slightly exceeding 5,000 yuan each month. My friend spoke highly of Lalu's character, mentioning that he had lost his spouse a few years back and was now in search of companionship. Deep down, I found myself open to the idea of embarking on a new journey. In the realm of relationships, I found myself at a crossroads, unwilling to settle for anything less than what felt right. So, I took a chance and agreed to go out with him, curious to see where this path might lead. Lulu, a familiar face from the neighboring community, and I would often stroll to the vibrant morning market, sharing laughter and picking out fresh food. As the weeks turned into months, a sense of comfort blossomed between us. One day, Lau extended an invitation to his home, suggesting we spend some quality time together. He also mentioned the possibility of me renting my own place, hinting at a monthly income of over 100 YWN. The thought of such an opportunity was intriguing, and though I hadn't anticipated it, I found myself open to the idea. Less than a month into our shared life, I found myself weary of the arrangement before I could even rent out my house. I made a swift decision to move back. In that moment, Lilu had promised that by living together, he would take care of all the expenses, and we would share the shopping and cooking. However, as we settled into our routine, it became clear that this was not the reality. It wasn't merely about the chores. It was also about how Lala left everything in disarray, a situation I could no longer endure. I recall one outing to a shopping mall where I spotted a second-hand ring priced under 500. It was a time when everything felt golden, and the store had just opened its doors. I turned to Lalu, hoping he would buy me a little something as a symbol of our bond. I suggested that an engagement ring would be a lovely keepsake, a reminder of our togetherness. It wasn't a lavish request, just a few hundred yuan. But Lalu quickly dismissed the idea, claiming we were too mature for such frivolities. Instead, he proposed we invest that money in some golden pork ribs for a meal. Since he wouldn't get me the gift, I decided to take matters into my own hands and pulled. With a swift motion, I pulled out my card and made the purchase right then and there. Lolly had promised that since we became a couple, he would contribute his pension each month. Yet, when the first month rolled around, he didn't uphold that promise. When I inquired about the pension, he casually mentioned that he had already taken care of the household expenses and preferred to save the rest for himself. While I could overlook his decision to keep his money, I found his freeloading attitude intolerable. At the start, we had agreed to share the household chores, and it felt like a promise unfulfilled. In the beginning, everything seemed to flow smoothly, but as the days passed, Lalu's true colors began to emerge. During the day, he would wander off to indulge in card games, returning home with an appetite, grumbling about the lack of food. I gently reminded him of our agreement to share responsibilities. He was to gather the vegetables while I took care of the cooking. Yet, he would simply lounge on the couch, motionless. Once I finished cooking and set the table, he would always find a way to critique my efforts, claiming this dish was too salty or that one didn't taste right. It became clear to me that he embodied the classic chauvinist attitude, and when I confronted him, he had the audacity to claim that since he was covering my expenses, I should take on some of the housework. I refused to tolerate such nonsense. That very day, I gathered my belongings and returned to my own home. Luckily, I hadn't rented it out yet, So I had my own space to retreat to. Why should I endure that? I'm not a free caregiver for anyone, nor will I cater to his whims. Ultimately, I embraced my independence once more. Initially, I thought being alone had its moments, but soon enough, the weight of isolation settled in, particularly at night when the silence was palpable. Each corner of my home echoed with memories of my late husband, and the pain became unbearable. One day, during the wedding of Olin's son, a friend confided in me about her own single life. She had found solace in a hotel apartment that was both convenient and comfortable, with a reasonable cost. She shared that she had been living there for over 6 months. After the celebration, she invited me to see her hotel. As I stepped into the apartment, I was instantly enchanted by its inviting atmosphere. It felt like I had finally stumbled upon a lifestyle that truly resonated with my needs. This kind of living arrangement has become increasingly sought after in bustling cities, with some tailored specifically for older adults. Each studio is adorned with warm, cozy decor, creating a welcoming haven. A standout feature is the provision of meals, breakfast, and dinner, eliminating the need for cooking. Moreover, dedicated staff ensure daily cleaning, adding to the ease of living. The cost aligns closely with that of senior home, yet the food is delightful and the freedom to come and go is a cherished bonus. On that unforgettable day, upon returning home, I made the decision to list my old house for sale through an agency. After some careful calculations, I realized that the rent from the house would bring in 1,000 yuan, and with my pension of 4,200 yuan, I could comfortably transition into a hotel apartment. Excitedly, I reached out to my children to share the news that I had finally discovered a lifestyle that resonated with me. However, when they learned I was opting for a hotel, they expressed concerns about the cost. I brushed off their remarks and simply replied, "If you think it's too pricey, perhaps you could lend a hand. All I seek is a modest sum of 1,000 yuan each month from you. After a lifetime of hard work, I wish to embrace my golden years without being a burden. By merging my savings with your support, I can find peace in my hotel apartment. After years of dedication, it's time to prioritize my well-being. Money is not a companion from birth to death, and I refuse to let it imprison me for as long as I can avoid it. To indulge in life's pleasures, to savor every moment, and to embrace a lifestyle that resonates with my spirit is truly the essence of living well. This senior hotel, with its monthly fee exceeding 3,800 yen, may seem steep, yet offers me a sense of comfort and freedom that I find invaluable. I deem this expense entirely reasonable. However, this haven is not for everyone. It caters exclusively to older adults who maintain their independence, with a stipulation that residents must be under 75. Some may ponder the future when that age approaches, but I choose to let those thoughts rest for now, focusing instead on the joys of today. Now I find myself in perfect health, savoring each day. The journey of living together unveils the keys to a harmonious coexistence between elderly parents and their children. For many seniors, sharing a home with their children is a reality, whether chosen or necessitated by circumstances. This arrangement can offer comfort and support, yet it is not without its challenges. The generational divide, differing lifestyles, and varying expectations can sometimes lead to tensions and discomfort for both elderly parents and their adult children. To foster harmony within the home, it is essential to navigate these complexities with care. For elderly parents, navigating the journey of cohabitation requires a thoughtful approach, emphasizing the significance of communication, respect for boundaries, the preservation of independence, and emotional understanding. Sharing a home with children can be a deeply rewarding experience, enriching the lives of all involved. At the heart of this arrangement lies the necessity for open and honest dialogue. Before embarking on this shared living experience, both parents and adult children should engage in meaningful discussions about their expectations. This conversation should encompass practical matters, including household responsibilities and financial arrangements. In the delicate dance of family life, where schedules intertwine and emotional landscapes shift, it becomes crucial to navigate the waters of privacy and personal space. By confronting these matters head-on, misunderstandings and resentment can be sidestepped, paving the way for harmony. A balanced home is one where every voice is heard and every heart feels valued. Elderly parents must articulate their needs while remaining receptive to rhythms and routines of their children, nurturing a garden of mutual respect and understanding. Yet, one of the most formidable challenges in this shared journey is honoring personal boundaries, a task that requires both sensitivity and care. It involves understanding that while you inhabit the same environment, elderly parents and their children lead distinct lives, each with their own responsibilities and social connections. It's crucial for parents to allow their children the freedom to navigate their lives without the weight of constant scrutiny or judgment. For example, parents should refrain from offering unsolicited advice or commenting on their children's choices regarding parenting, lifestyle, or finances. By honoring their children's independence, parents can help to minimize potential conflicts. In the journey of nurturing a healthier and more supportive relationship, it is essential for elderly parents to hold on to their sense of independence. The temptation to lean too heavily on their children for emotional or physical support can be strong, particularly in times of health challenges or loneliness. Yet, by preserving a measure of autonomy, parents can foster a positive self-image and alleviate the sense of being a burden. Embracing personal hobbies, participating in community activities, or nurturing friendships beyond the confines of home can offer a rich tapestry of fulfillment. A sense of fulfillment and connection emerges as this newfound independence not only enriches the lives of elderly parents, but also alleviates some of the burdens on their children. This allows both generations to savor their moments together more deeply. Flexibility and adaptability weave through the fabric of their shared lives, as each day brings new challenges, be it work pressures, the joys and trials of raising children, or health concerns. These elements shape the dynamics of the household, making it essential for elderly parents to embrace adaptability and understanding in this evolving journey. Encounter various challenges that their children face, such as busy work schedules or the need to prioritize their own families. It's important for elderly parents to not take these situations personally, but to recognize and appreciate the diverse responsibilities that each family member carries. This flexibility nurtures patience and empathy, which are vital for preventing conflict and creating a peaceful living environment. Alongside practical adjustments, emotional understanding becomes crucial in fostering a positive relationship with their children. As parents grow older, they may find themselves navigating these dynamics with care and compassion. In the journey of life, there are moments when vulnerability and a sense of losing control emerge, often hard to articulate. It becomes crucial for elderly parents to tune into their emotions and share them in a constructive manner, rather than letting frustration or helplessness simmer beneath the surface. Meanwhile, children must embrace the understanding that aging carries its own emotional hurdles, requiring patience and empathy towards their parents. Together, both generations can cultivate a nurturing environment where feelings are recognized and treated with kindness and compassion. With love, it is essential to recognize the importance of gratitude and appreciation. Living together is a significant adjustment for both elderly parents and their children, and expressing thanks for support they provide one another can greatly enhance their relationship. Parents should express their gratitude to their children for welcoming them into their homes and offering care, while children should acknowledge the invaluable contributions of their parents to the household, be it through sharing wisdom, assisting with the grandchildren, or simply being a comforting presence. The exchange of gratitude fortifies a connection between generations, ensuring that all individuals feel valued and appreciated. As we've journeyed through this video, the future of elderly care shines brighter than ever. By embracing these innovative approaches, we can cultivate a world where our elderly are cherished, respected, and supported. Remember, even the smallest act of kindness can create significant change. Let us unite in our efforts to foster a more compassionate and inclusive society for all. And don't forget to show your support by liking this. Share this video with your loved ones and subscribe to my channel for more uplifting content about aging gracefully. Together, we can create a meaningful difference in the lives of our elders.